How's it going, guys? Mask back here on this insane day on YuGiOh Duel Links. We got Bakura, we got a new box, we got new duel school. This stuff's just happening. We can't even keep up. 1.5 times experience, and we had 700 free gems thrown our way. Their classic way of introducing a new box. Here, in case you didn't have any gems, we want to make sure you can dip your foot in. and if you can't, if there's something you wanted, we got these deals for them. Anyhow, I actually have not looked at the box at all yet. This is going to be a brand new, fresh take on these cards. I'm going in there, but I want to start us off. We're actually going to do a box analysis before we open any packs. And to make sure I actually understand what I'm doing a little here, I've brought on one of my head moderators from the screen. I got YuGiOh here with me, and he's going to help kind of give some discussion towards how we think these new cards are going to fit into the meta. Are they going to affect any current decks? And if there's any new decks we think are going to be able to be formed with these. But yeah, you know, we're gonna start this off. Let's jump straight into the box. I'm going to go ahead and not look. I don't want to spoil any of these cards, and we're going to start from the bottom in the normals. And yeah, let's go. We got Disturbance Strategy. Your opponent shuffles their entire hand into the deck and then draws the same number of cards. Honestly, I see no reason to play this. It's like a reload for your opponent. Maybe Relinquish, but counter. They're kind of collect ritual cards. I'm taking a hard pass on that one. Okay, we got Prepare to Strike Back. And this is one of the longest card descriptions I think I've ever seen. Time your opponent declares a face-up.
So let's just move on.
Defense position monster. Yeah, no, we'll take a hard pass on that one too. Okay, we got simultaneous loss. I nailed it this time. Each player sends the top card of their deck to the graveyard. Potential mill. I don't think I would run this. I have a pretty good mill deck going right now, but I don't think I would run this over, say, Conscription. I'd go Conscription all day, any day over this. So I'm gonna take a hard pass on this card. And actually, I'm sorry, I didn't really introduce. So we got YuGiOh here, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself for a second here. Why not? Say hi. So your voice isn't just popping out of nowhere and no one knows who you are.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. I am YuGiOh, current Duel Links lover. Not very good, but I am the luckiest player in the game.
That's it. I think we have him self-branded as the luckiest player in the game. I like it. So we got Next to be Lost here. Select one face-up monster you control. Send one card from your deck to the graveyard with the same name as the selected card. Okay, so like I feel like this card actually has some synergy in very specifically crafted decks that revolve around the concept of having a monster on the field buffed by a certain number of its same name being in the graveyard. So Next to be Lost. I haven't used any of these cards, so they're not really in my mind. Do you know of any of them? Why not? Monster cards.
Right off the bat, I was thinking Divine Dragon, and again, possibly if you're in a scenario where you get Mask of Brutality, it's a great way to actually destroy the monster and then get
Mask of Brutality or Mask of the Accursed, right? Mask of the Accursed from.
I apologize, Mask of the Accursed.
Oh yeah, and kind of refresh it, but also cycle a monster out. Harpy synergy, especially with Harpies, cycling through and getting a new Harpy's Hunting Ground proc. With the same name. Wait, no, but it's to the graveyard. Never mind. So that's a little different. But so this one cycles anyhow. Like Divine Dragon, I can't remember if it's on summon that he activates the effects or he just gains the buffs. But I can see that card actually kind of being used in a deck or two. Okay, so Generation Shift. Target one monster you control, destroy that target, and then add one card with the same name to the destroyed card from. Oh, I think this was the one you were actually just talking about. Generation Shift. This would cycle a card like a Harpy with a mask attached to it. This card I can definitely see getting some use, but it's up against some super hard competition to actually see some play. We have too many amazing trap cards. We have Option Hunter. Activate only when a monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. Gain life points equal to the original attack of the destroyed monster. Okay, so I mean original attack, like I actually could almost see using this in a healing farm deck. Some of the healing farm decks we've been making. Kind of a huge healing option, but at the moment, definitely nothing it's going to do, or no decks it's going to fit into. So we got Trojan Blast here. Activate only when an opponent's card effect shifts control of a monster from your side of the field to theirs. Charmer. Oh my god. Does anybody remember playing those Yo, why not? Do you remember playing the Charmer decks on the Charmer NPCs when you first started the game off? They tilted you so hard.
I absolutely love those decks, and I always wanted to make one. Never could.
Destroy that one monster and inflict damage to your opponent's life points equal to its attack. Like, still so situational. I don't think it's going to see much play. Aegis of Gaia. Gain 3k life points. If this face-up card is removed from the field, take 3,000. What? That's pretty crazy. I wonder if there's a way to proc this card without procking the negative side effect to it. Maybe there's more synergy in this box that could pull that off.
Even sounds like they returned from the hand, actually. So
wait,
it's going to be.
If this is removed from the field, yeah. So that's it. It would have to somehow be like negated, but I don't think that's possible. Yeah, it's setting yourself up to get hit hard. But then again, it's gain 3, lose 3. So it's not like you are setting yourself up to lose overall. It could really help you stall. I could see that fitting in a deck. Still a little situational. Hard selling zombie. Each time a monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, select one card from your opponent's graveyard and return it to the bottom of their deck. A monster you control inflicts battle damage. One card from your opponent's graveyard and return it to the bottom. Anti-mill? Like, that's just kind of weird. I guess if you're up against someone with like graveyard synergy, maybe, but I don't know.
No.
That's not getting any play out of me. Destruction Jammer. Oh, another jammer. Discard a card, negate the activation of a spell card, trap card, or affect monster's effect that destroys a monster on the field and destroy that card. What? This is like a super jammer. A jam everything jammer. But it's a spell card, trap card, or affect monster's effect that destroys a monster on the field. Are you kidding me? So this is an OTC counter. This is, I guess it wouldn't work on like a mirror wall, but it's like a Michizuri counter. But OTC's huge. Now this would counter Divine Wrath in the current meta. Like this card I could see getting some major play. It sets you up for countering a ton of stuff. It's like a 3-in-1 trap jammer at the same time. Okay, Sanguine Swamp. Sanguine? I don't know. If you control any other spell or trap cards, if you control any other spell or trap cards, destroy this card. Face down spell and trap cards cannot be activated. Destroy this card during your second standby phase after activation. Oh hot damn. Unless the enemy has a trap jammer up. This is a sweet card. This one, do you think you can see this card getting some play?
100%. Definitely reminds me of a Jinzo-esque kind of card, and we all know how powerful that was in the real life meta.
Yeah, like this is like I mean, if you're locking down an opponent's backboard, or during your second standby, yeah, this is going to give you 2 turns of invulnerable attacking. Like if you have your opponent's backboard locked down for 2 turns, and you're planning on doing it, chances are you're winning in those 2 turns too. Slip Summon. Activate only when your opponent summons a monster. Special summon 1 level 4 lower monster from your hand and face up defense position. Return it to the owner's hand during the end phase. So we just get 1 phase of a level 4 monster being in the way. Interesting. Kind of tough, weird. Maybe specific decks, but this I got spoiled in the duel school. Machine King 3000 BC. Special summon this card as an effect monster, machine type, earth, level 4, 1000 attack, 1000 defense. He is still a trap card, just like Abomination of Apophis. You cannot normal special summon other monsters during the turn you activate this card. That's kind of negative though, but once per turn during your main phase, you contribute 1 machine type monster, and this card gains attack equal to the attack the attributed monster had in the field. Interesting.
You know how much I love trap monsters, and I feel like even though this card seems like it's gonna have to be played on your opponent's turn, maybe
true. Wait a second.
Maybe chaining at the end.
Special summon it as an effect. When can you chain it? This one doesn't say main. Oh wait. Once per turn during your main phase, you contribute. Okay, so you could totally get this out at like even almost at your end phase. You could chain it at the end phase. It looks like, and get it on the field. And at the very
I would
least,
definitely say it seems like you could chain it off for your opponent's end phase,
yeah,
because the once per turn during your main phase is for the tribute, for the machine, a monster to gain the attack. Definitely great card. And I'm a huge fan of trap monsters. I feel like they just get so much leverage with
tempo,
them.
leverage and tempo, exactly. And you cannot normal summon or special summon other monsters during the turn you activate it. So definitely just activate it, chain it at the end of your opponent's phase, and we got a new trap monster. That is like this. The tempo swings you can pull with trap monsters are crazy. Psychic Reactor. Now psychic monsters. Did we have any psychic monsters in the game prior to today?
I took a quick peek into some of the newer cards. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And there's gonna be some fun stuff coming. I say you read the effect, and we're gonna save this for the maybe pile and see how many.
For the maybe pile. For rest of this turn, when a psychic type monster you control battles an opponent's monster, basically turn into a DD warrior. Well, we're definitely putting that in for the future pile. This is gonna have some synergy. Well, no, I was relying on you having read the box already. You're my knowledgeable person. Extinction on schedule. During the main phase, pay 2k life points. Make both players send all cards they control to the graveyard at the end of the third battle phase after this card's activation. What? Okay, I mean, that's like a suicide card. We're not playing that. What the? Black 3 turns later? What? Maybe in an 8k. Like, some of these cards come out and it's like, yeah, in an 8k format, I see how this could have worked for you. Black Luster
That's a fantastic
Ritual.
card. If you're ever tilted in a best of 3 series, you know you're not going to win. Just sideboard that card in to surrender.
Yeah. Black Luster Ritual. Here it is. This is the big card to summon a Black Luster. That's that 3k ritual monster. I feel like I'm going to use it in some farming decks. 3k is a big threshold that synergizes well with a couple cards often. We'll see. But this, I really hope I pull a glossy of this. I want a glossy combo of the Black Luster summon. Ritual summon Black Luster Soldier. Yeah, 8 stars or more. War Lion Ritual. Okay, so we're going to cycle through probably a couple rituals here. Super War Lion. We'll have to check out what that card looks like. Javelin Beetle Pact. Used to summon Javelin Beetle. Ring of Magnetism. I remember this card. I don't remember what it does, but the card just... I have an actual copy of this card for sure. You can only equip it to a monster on your side of the field. Decrease the attack and defense of it equipped by this card by 500 points. In addition, all monsters on your opponent's side of the field can only attack the monster equipped with this card if they attack. Dude, this is sick. This turns a gigantic monster you've managed to summon out into a Freya, almost. Like, oh no, an opposite Freya. Like, still, this is like a taunt. This is taunt from Hearthstone coming in. What do you think?
You know, it's funny because I always remember watching some of the tag team duels with Yugi and Joey, and whenever like Joey's gonna get attacked, Yugi would like chuck his monster in the way to block it, or any of the tag team duels had the ability to do that. That's what this card reminds me of. It reminds me of getting out a big beast and protecting all of your other monsters around you.
Protecting some stuff that can direct attack around the big beast, right? Like that's one thing I'm looking at too. Okay, card shuffle. Pay 300 life points to use the card's effect. Shuffle either you or your opponent's... Shuffle either you or your opponent's deck. You can only use this effect during your turn, once per turn. Can you chain this activation in a pre-draw phase, an end-draw phase? Like, I mean, all I see here is the ability to counter Weevil's Parasite coming out the top of your deck. And it would still tilt you because it could still show up. Other than that, get it out of here.
300 life. Come on.
Gather Your Mind. Add one Gather Your Mind card from your deck to your hand. Your deck is then shuffled. You can only use one Gather Your Mind card per turn. So basically, draw this card and it mills your deck like a Thunder Dragon would, one by one. Potentially.
Cerebrus?
Sorry? Oh, Cerberus. Like a Cerberus farm deck. Dude, this card times 3. I want 3 copies of glossy copies of this card. I would probably run it into my Cerberus farms. Absolutely, yeah. Draw it's everyone you draw out skips a draw phase, speeds the farm up, and I mean, getting a good old Cerberus proc off. And I mean, general deck mill in decks that you're just trying to hyper mill to draw a combo. Maybe pushing it. Weapon change. Once during each of your standby phases, you can pay 700 life points and target one warrior or machine type monster you control. Switch the current attack and defense of that target until the end of your opponent's next turn. Meh. Oh, it is once during each of your standby phases. Oh, and until your opponent's next turn. Okay, so I mean, I feel like this would have to have a couple monsters very specifically tailored to take advantage of this card. Otherwise, I don't see myself using it, and it's what, 700 life points per pop?
Moving on.
Malice Dispersion. Destroy all. Whoa, okay. Discard a card from your hand. Destroy all face-up continuous trap cards. It is a quick play, but how common are face-up continuous trap cards? Unless there's some really good ones dropping from this box, which we actually have seen one or two of. I don't see this card getting much play. Poison Fangs. This reminds me of that card. We have Beast Fangs already. Each time a beast monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. I'm not running it. Okay. Actually, no. I see. It's basically useless in my mind. Gift of the Martyr. Send one monster on your side of the field to the graveyard. Select one monster on... Send one monster on your side of the field to the graveyard. Select one monster on your side of the field. The selected monster gains attack equal to the attack of the sent monster until the end of this turn. Interesting. So it's like a miniature Union attack, almost. It's like
I definitely see it playable with enemy controller. There's actually another card coming up, spoiler alert, that I can see it doing well with. But I love the idea of taking my opponent's monster
and
then
sacking it and buffing your own. Okay, now I'm starting to see some use, and apparently you're putting in that maybe pile for some future synergy. I like it. I just see a little tiny sneak peek at Union attack. Team no Union. I'm stuck here, unfortunately, still. But okay, Light of Redemption. Pay 800 life points and target one of your banished light monsters. Add that target to your hand. One of your banished light monsters, unless there's some crazy banishing of light monster synergy coming up in this deck, doesn't have any current meta use. We'll leave it at that for now. Domino Effect. When a monster your opponent controls is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can send one monster you control to the graveyard to destroy one monster your opponent controls. Okay, let me try this one again. Opponent controls is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. Send one monster you control to the graveyard and destroy another. So you can almost okay, so you have two monsters on the field. Your opponent has two monsters. You kill one, you sack the one you just used to attack. It is not a quick. Oh, it's a continuous. And you can. So this card would already be activated, and you'd have the ability to then just kind of, for free, OTC. It's an OTC, right? It's like a permanent OTC.
I got 3 words. Jam Breeding Machine.
Woo! Woo!
Every single time a monster on your field is controlled, you sacrifice a Jam Breeding Machine token to literally Michizuri, sort of. Oh my gosh, it is a board clearer, but that's for another day. I don't want to.
When a monster your opponent controls is destroyed, so it's like a reverse Michizur machine gun with a Jam Breeder to load it up. Now I like it because it's kind of like an OTC. It is kind of like an order to charge. Your opponent control is destroyed by battle. Yeah, okay. Psychic Path. Pay 800 life points and select up to 2 of your remove from play psychic types. Add them to your hand. My face value at this point of this card is it's useless, but I know I've been spoiled a little from the dual schools, and I've seen some potential use because there seems to be a lot of remove from play with psychic type monsters. So we'll see. Putting that in that maybe pile. Tokosho of Ghost Destroying. When the equipped monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can select up to 2 monsters in your opponent's graveyard and remove them from play. Okay. Yeah, I don't see myself running an equip card ever just to achieve that, though. Foolish Return. Select 1 card from your opponent's graveyard, return it to the deck. Once again, almost just as useless. Unless there is some crazy graveyard interaction synergy going on. I mean, this card counters Destiny board on Bakura's monster, but really, I don't know. I hasn't been seeing too much play yet. ESP Amplifier. All face-up psychic type monsters you controlled when this card was activated gains 300 attack for each of your psychic type monsters that is removed from play. Here I go talking crap about removing stuff from play when this card actually will come in huge, and it's a quick play. Now, is it whoa, okay, I don't know about that side effect though. Remove from play when this during your end phase, remove from play all monsters that are affected by this card effect.
The way I see it is that you have 3 psychic monsters removed from play. If you have 3 monsters on the field, they all gain 900 attack until end of turn to finish off your opponent.
Yeah,
otherwise,
it's like a huge wombo suit. It's a Hail Mary. It's a Hail Mary card.
Maybe almost a very limiter removal. A very bad version of limiter removal, I guess.
Right. Okay, we got Drago Roar. Banish 1 Earth, 1 Water, 1 Fire, and 1 Wind monster from your graveyard. Shuffle 1 card on the field into the deck. That's actually not bad. That's not bad, but you have to really be running a variation of monsters to be able to potentially pull that off. Suzuki Samurai number 3. I was waiting for them to release more Suzuki Samurais. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent's life points, your opponent draws cards until their hand has 7 cards. What? If you could combo this in to pull that off, and you're playing against someone and you're milling them and their hand is empty, what? Tell me this card could be used in a mill deck.
I would love to say it, but as of right now, I don't see it personally. Mill decks are normally very passive. This seems like you would have to have a very aggressive deck. However, I do remember Bakura having having effect to the tune of every time a monster is destroyed on your opponent's side of the field, they mill a card. Maybe in that kind of aggressive mill.
So maybe an offensive mill. Because people have always asked me, it's Tether of Defeat the skill you're thinking of too. Yo, why don't you run your mill deck on Tether of Defeat? I'm like, mill decks are too passive. You never get to proc that. But if we can, if the meta shifts and it becomes available to us an offensive mill deck, this is probably going to do some work. Then again, though, giving your opponent 7 cards, so they're going to draw into an 8th card their next turn, that's pretty suicidal. Let's be real. Stray Asmodean. Fiend effect. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by battle, both players gain 800 life points. It is a 1700 defense Fiend, so it's coming down as a 1900 defense monster with Yami up. Could potentially see some play, but I don't really see the need to heal both sides for 800 at the moment. I'm glad we're finally into some monsters, though. Seismic Crasher. Twice per turn, you can send 1 face-up continuous spell or continuous trap card you control to the graveyard to inflict 500 damage to your opponent. 3-star, 1400, 300. Probably not going to see some play unless it's extremely gimmicky. Second booster. You contribute this card to select 1 face-up attack monster you control. This monster gains 1500 attack until the end phase. Interesting. If I can combo this card out, it's like a free rising energy. For me, like one of the first things I think about for new cards is farming. You guys see my farm videos. I'm addicted to them. That's what I'm all about. Potential farming potential. I'm going to put it over on a shelf and just kind of leave it there. Then again, tribute this card, select 1 face-up attack monster you control, and it gains 1500 attack at the end phase. This is a playable rising energy. So I actually definitely think this could see some play as well. What do you think? In decks, like, do you feel like this could fit into anything we currently have?
I'm totally biased. I love machine monsters, and I really wish they had more support
to make something like this viable. But currently,
I think we need a lot. I think we need a little bit more to make this playable.
Wait a second.
Definitely
what about that new machine that just dropped in the card trader, where it can have a token of itself, and then both of those monsters would gain the 1500 because the one is always the same attack as the other? That could be interesting.
I was trying to think of that as well, but ultimately, when the one loses its attack, the other one, I believe, loses it as well.
Oh, it does lose it as well. Yes, this would be an interesting way to kind of give it a good, kind of like a kickstart. I've been seeing some people abusing that in farming. I'm kind of going to start. I'm hoping to start breaking into that avenue. I know I have one in the card trader right now. I gotta pick up. Okay, so we got Sky Star Ray. This card can attack your opponent. This card can attack your opponent directly. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked directly, banish it until your next standby phase. Whoa.
Let me tell you, enable White Hat Rabbit eats your heart out.
Whoa. This is a White Rabbit on steroids, except for the only difference is if this card gets econned. But this card's blowing an econ if it does. That's value right there. If this card gets econned, its effect does not proc. But then again, if it gets econned and then you save it defensively next turn and then it gets a direct attack again, it cycles. This is... Weevil. I mean, I could put this in a Weevil deck today and do work with it, I think. Boar Soldier. This card can only be summoned by... This card can only be summoned by a flip summon. If summoned by a normal summon, this card is destroyed. If your opponent has one or more monsters under his or her control, the attack of this card is decreased by 1,000. No. It falls under this. They've been throwing these 4-star beat. They've been teasing us with 2,000 attack 4-star beaters with terrible effects for a while now. You don't see this thing getting better, do you?
Nope.
Lady Assailant of Flames. 4 stars, Pyro. A little bit more pyro. Come on, we had a whole mini box of Pyro. You don't have enough yet? Flip. Remove 3 cards from the top of your deck from play to inflict 800 points of direct damage to your opponent's life points. Interesting, though. Maybe Taya Burn? I don't know. Burn decks, though. I mean, burn decks that don't really care to lose 3 cards off the top of their deck. Most decks shouldn't. If you lose 3 cards, who cares? You should have more waiting for you, basically. Yo, Laz Maze, challenge me to a friend duel. We'll have to take a hard pass right now, Laz. I'm sure you'll understand. Molten Zombie. When this card is special summoned from the graveyard, draw 1 card. 4-star, 1,600 attack. Unless we're seeing some Monster Reborn action happening in this current box, I don't see proccing that effect often enough. Shallow Grave, but I would never prioritize a Molten Zombie with a Shallow Grave. Okay, so we got Prometheus, King of Shadows, coming in with the big names. 4 stars, 1,200 attack, 800 defense. If this card's normal summoned, banish any number of dark monsters from your graveyard, and if you do, this card gains 400 attack for each until the end of this turn. Okay, if it's normal summoned, banish any number of dark monsters from your graveyard. So this thing could drop as but only for 1 turn, as a 2,800. Maybe? I see it falling too flat on its face, though. It falls under that OTK Karate Man crutch right now, where everybody's running Econs, Windstorms, Haribos. I don't see us pulling this off.
Honestly, I was personally looking at its effect of 400 attack as kind of a side, like, okay, that's a bonus. But banishing a number of dark monsters, and I think there's a lot of cards that get a lot of value.
Second. Any number. I don't know why I had the number 4. I was probably teased by the 400 and brainwashed into 4. Banish any number. Okay, you know what? I feel like this thing definitely has some synergy then, for sure. Especially with like Chaos Zone and other dark decks with graveyard interactions, things being removed. That monster that gets buffed by the dark monsters that have been removed from play. I forget its name now. Yeah, we used it in our Skull Lair machine gun deck.
Oh my gosh. Is it Doomsday?
Doomsday. Whoa, yeah. Save time. There it is. Okay. Yeah, so there's definitely some synergy in that deck archetype flying around with that card. So Planet Pathfinder, Machine, and I'm actually totally on the same boat as you two. The fact that I've already seen we've seen like 3 or 4 machines in this deck, and we haven't even gotten to normals yet, I'm getting pumped. There's got to be some big machines in here. You contribute this card, add 1 field spell card from your deck to your hand. So you could summon this and instantly tribute it, right? Obviously, like you can just drop. Looks like, yes. Yeah, so it'll be like a Possessed Dark Soul activation, same concept. I could definitely see some play if you have some decks running with some really crazy, awesome field spells. I know there's a couple new ones dropping in this box too, because we've been spoiled by that dual school. Couple cards.
If you could do me a favor, just take this card and put it to the side. When we get to some of the other cards, I want to bring this card back up. Thank you.
Done. Pathfinder. It's right there. It's on a shelf. I'm staring at it. Space Time Police. When this card is special summoned, target a 1 face-up card your opponent controls. Banish that target. When this card's special summoned, banish a target instantly. When this card leaves the field, set that card that was banished by this effect to your opponent's side of the field. Interesting. Special summoned though, so you have to have a method of, but it's a psychic, and I know there's some psychic special summoning going on. Actually, with a field spell, there was a psychic field spell that allowed an extra normal summon, not a psychic, not a special one. So we'll have to see if we're able to proc that effect. I like it, but I don't know if we can use it yet. We got a 6-star psychic monster, Storm Caller. When you can put your opponent's monsters that are destroyed by battle with other psychic type monsters on top of their owner's deck instead of sending them to the graveyard. When this card is destroyed by a card's effect, the card's controller takes damage equal to its original attack. What? No thank you. For starters, I don't want to give my opponent monsters back on top of their deck. And then what? I suicide to 2,300 damage?
To be honest with you, I've always been a fan of destroying an opponent's monster and putting it on top of their deck, like with the Blizzard Warrior. I've always been really interested with that because I believe that with a 4-card hand, your card advantage is so important. But if you keep trapping them with the same useless monster,
Right.
I feel like that can kind of be cool. But I never got it to work properly, sadly.
And this effect is, I mean, that's just I don't think we can really afford 2300 attack in a 4000 game. Super War Lion. Wait, is it destroyed by if this card is destroyed by a card effect? Okay, so it is specific to a card effect, so it's not as much of a crutch as I thought originally. Here we are, Super War Lion. Just seeing the other half of these rituals. These are just ritual filler, I want to call them. It's never going to see play, but unless you're just running some super ritual decks. Javelin Beetle, probably falling into the same concept. Another ritual you're never going to run because it's going to be outperformed by Black Luster Soldier, obviously, dropping 3k. Mind you, this one has decent defense, coming in 2550, 2450. Assault on GHQ. Select one monster on your side of the field to activate this card. Destroy the selected card and send 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. Hello. No, this is huge. I want 3 copies of this, and I am figuring a way to use this. So this is, you know how when I'm running my Worm deck, and I always tech in something to help me unconditionally kill one of my own Worms? This is that card. Times extra 2 mil. Are you kidding me? You pop this thing and you mill 5 cards off one Worm. That is nuts. This is getting play. We've made it into the rares, and that's why the cards are starting to get me excited.
I absolutely love it, but can I get the next card? I'm sorry.
You got it. You got it. Take it from the start.
Ladies and gentlemen, weed out. Pay 500 life points, destroy all face-up attack position level 3 monsters. Oh my gosh, I love this card. I really do. I feel like clowns are so dependent on a Dream Clown. I feel like my Venus deck, which a lot of you guys know me from, is obviously dependent on Venus, which is a 3-star. I would say even Harpies depend on 3-star Sonic Ducks. I really feel like this is going to be an absolute. I don't want to say main board, but I could be wrong. But definitely a sideboard option.
If you can put a 4-star Ladybug in your deck, you can put a Weedout in your deck. Like, it's the same thing, potentially even better. It's activatable. The activation's controllable, right? Like, yeah.
I'm in love with this card.
Sick. I mean, if you can convince yourself it's worth running 4-star Ladybug, you should be able to. This is definitely worth playing. Okay, we got Seismic Shockwave. Destroy this card during your 3rd standby phase after activation. Activate this card when a face-up dinosaur monster you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, except during the damage step. Okay, weird. Wait, destroyed. Tributed does not. OTC does not proc the destroyed word on cards, though. Keep in mind. And but if you get OTC'd, it does. Use 3 of your opponent's unused spell and trap zones. Those zones. What? There's only 3 zones. Are you kidding me? Okay. Unused. Those zones cannot be used. Choose 3 of your opponent's unused. What if they don't have 3 unused? Is it choose up to 3? Like, that could backfire. Those zones cannot be used. If this card destroys itself, you can target 1 dinosaur-type monster in your graveyard. Add that card to your hand. Oh, did it just tell me how long? Oh, destroy it during your 3rd standby phase after activation. Okay, this seems gimmicky, hard to pull off, but can this breathe a little bit of life back into a Rex deck?
What I instantly thought when I saw this card, it was, first of all, a lot of words. But my second thought was, I'm sorry.
No, that's so true. That's how I just felt.
Was Tornado Bird. I feel like Tornado Bird, if I was the flip, you could return up to 2 spell or trap cards on your opponent's side of the field. So a great way to finish off a match. Or empty out your opponent's field for a Seismic Shockwave to literally lock down. I compared this to almost like having Ojama King in this meta. If you can lock down 3 zones, that's it.
No, I know that.
They literally can't play any more spell or traps.
They can't play a trap to clear your trap even. Like, that's it. Like, I feel like this card is hard to pull off, but it's so strong that it might be worth trying to go out of your way to do it.
And also look at, we're trying Storm, and we're trying Storm along with Wild Tornado. I feel like this deck, again, you're gonna have to really commit.
You just painted me. Oh, but it is Dinosaur though, so we do have to put face-up dinosaur monster you control is destroyed. So what if you played a dinosaur? Maybe there's a dinosaur worth playing in a Odeon bluff trap deck for whatever reason. I'd have to go through the list. If we can find a playable dinosaur in an Odeon bluff trap deck, we could Wild Tornado. So we could Storm Wild Tornado, clear the enemy's backline, kill our own dinosaur, and proc Seismic Shockwave to lock that backline down. That would be an insane play. Literally an insane play. I'd love to see someone pull it off. So, but we're moving on. We got Seal of the Wickedness. Once per turn, during your opponent's standby phase, select one face-up card in the field. The selected card's effects is negated during that turn. During each of your standby phases, pay 500 life points or destroy this card. Once per turn, select a face-up card. Okay, I mean, kind of hard to find value in this. There's not a whole lot of cards that just sit on the field and are just doing work with effects.
Not a fan.
Yeah, Jar of Avarice. More jars. Target 5 cards in the graveyard except Jar of Avarice. Shuffle all 5 cards into the deck. Then draw 1 card. You can only activate 1 per turn. Is this like a Pot of Benevolence on steroids? Is this gonna be the new?
Honestly,
the new stream meme? Yo, Mask, a Jar of Avarice, every single deck. Let's go.
I was actually running a variation of my Venus deck that had Jar of Greeds in it, mainly because I didn't need any other cards besides Venus and Shine Balls,
Right.
But also because every time I set a Jar of Greed when I had Venus on the field, it almost bluffed.
Shine Balls back in your deck with this too, right?
And yes, I feel like not only can if I set this card, it can bluff an OTC, but also I can Venus back in my deck along with maybe OTC and really make Venus a little bit more consistent. Again, possibility. I will be playtesting it.
Yeah, no, for sure. The only thing I could see it in is a Venus Shine Ball deck. Just kind of recycling those Shine Balls. Like if you have another Venus in your hand, or even still have one on the field, and it recycles your OTC. I like it. Array of Revealing Light. Declare one type of monster. Any monster of the declared type cannot declare an attack during the turn that it is normal summoned, flip summoned, or special summoned. Farming. Hands up. Farming right here. This could shut down immediate threats. This card actually immediately, you play this card shuts down absolutely every threat a Shizu can throw your way physically possible towards an unhappy girl. This card's played. You activate Spellcaster. A Shizu cannot drop any card down and attack your unhappy girl, giving you the opportunity to then attack into it with Holy Guard the next turn. So that's where I'm going with this card right away. Farming. Other than
that card deserves it. Oh, we're gonna save that for later. Oh my god.
Okay.
That
Array of Revealing Light. All right. Spell Absorption. Each time a spell card is activated, gain 500 life points immediately after it resolves. Oh, okay. Interesting. Like, I mean, if we have a reason to max out on life points. I know that back in the day, people were trying to run Heal Yourself and get out Cyberstein and pop that Blue Eyes Ultimate. I don't know if that dream's still alive anywhere, but...
I personally love the card. This Solemn Wishes, heal, tilt your opponent.
Wait a second. Yeah, like, what about... I guess we don't play a whole lot of spell cards in those Destiny Draw balloon decks, but... I'm thinking along that concept. Earth Chant. This card can be used to ritual summon any Earth ritual monster. Okay, perfect. Like this is neat. It's just giving us more universal ritual summoning cards. I mean, why not? Like if you're gonna why not? If you're going to use a ritual summoning card and you have universal ones like this, you could pack your deck full of more rituals, as well giving us more auto duel options. This will be really neat because I know people who do not have access to the Fusion Auto Duel because they couldn't get Fusion Gate because the Ultimate Rising's gone. This is actually going to open up a very good possibility of building a nice and reliable Auto Duel deck revolving around ritual summons, because this is going to be universal. It'll be way easier to pull off rituals when you don't have to actually match up 1-in-1 card. It's any card and 1 card. Anyhow, we have and obviously that summons Blackluster Soldier, right? She's Earth. I'm pretty positive on that.
Yes,
one.
sir.
Perfect. Chthonian Alliance. Yeah, good. The equipped monster gains 800 attack for each other face-up monster on the field that has the same name it does. Huh.
I'm actually, I'm actually going totally nerd. I'm watching the second generation of Yu-Gi-Oh GX,
Hmm.
and for all you guys, chaz it up. He actually plays the Chthonian monsters and Chthonian alliance, and
Chthonian, there we
honestly,
go. Chthonian, I like it.
it's not that good of a card. But you know what? As soon as I saw Chthonian alliance, like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
chaz it up.
yeah, that's it. I
Sorry,
mean,
go
some
on.
of those anime cards, they're some of the ones that remind you of the shows. They're just as good. Herculean power. Once per turn, if your opponent controls a monster once per turn, if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Gemini monster from your Gemini support. This is sick because you could special summon a Gemini and then normal summon it and instantly activate its Gemini effect. And how many people in our Twitch chat today said, please give me Gemini support tonight? And here we go. It got hinted in the duel school, and I bet you this isn't the first one we're going to see. That speaks for itself. This has an insane Gemini synergy.
I was also thinking about maybe you're on turn. Your opponent turn one plays plays 1800 beater. You're on turn two. You play a Gemini and set an OTC. Their turn two, they play another beater. You OTC one, take damage. But then you also that right off the bat you have no monster on the field. He has one, so then you can combo off of that. So maybe I was trying to think of some cool stuff that could happen with Gemini's. Still
now
working on it.
It says once per turn. Do you think can this card be activated in the battle phase? Do you think?
A lot of cards for it can't be. I've noticed can't be activated in different phases.
Because it does only say once per turn, but yeah, probably not. If I were to guess, it would be a no. But this card will see some play. This card might actually be that last little push over the hill Gemini monsters need to explode into this game. Master Kayanshi. Woo, 1750 4-star zombie. It's not out of the meta, but it's not totally in the meta. I mean, it's what? Is this not our second strongest 4-star beater in the game now?
I don't think it has a place right now. Sonic Bird has a place with Harpies. Do names has a place with anywhere.
And you wouldn't really fit this in. I mean, it's like, because I do have a Jerry Bean. I have one Jerry Bean in my Harpy deck. But then again, I think I've been wanting the deck to be, actually, it's debatable. I could almost swap this guy in my current Harpy deck. My current, like, top of the meta Harpy deck for that Jerry Bean, but we'll see. If I'm seeing
Luster Dragon number 2 is next, so can we please skip this?
This one speaks for itself. Big Koala. I mean, I guess this one's pretty much a skip too. It's a 2 tribute. It's a 2700. Cute. I'll just say cute. Sure. Whoa. Here I go. I give Koala a cute, and then this fluffy poodle comes on. Actually, it's got to be at least part poodle. Outstanding Dog Marin. Outstanding Dog Marin. When this card is sent to your graveyard, add it to your deck and shuffle it. What? I don't know. I don't know if I could fit it in a
Super Wonder
deck.
Balloons? Come on now. So much better than Deep Seated.
Sent to your graveyard. Whoa! Dude, this is so much better than Deep Seated. Why would you want to use any card other than this one? Actually, this card will see some play. Number 1, it's adorable. Number 2, yeah, that's it's a sort of the Deep Seated. There it is. It actually, you could, mind you, there's no reason to run any more than one sort of the deep-seated card in any of those discard decks. So you really would only use one or the other. But I would use this over sort of the deep-seated any day. Crystal Seer. Spellcaster flip effect. Excavate the top 2 cards of your deck. Add one of them to your hand and place the other on the bottom. I like it, because you get to draw 2 cards and pick which one of those 2 cards you want. I like it, but I don't... Or actually, it's a flip effect. So this is like a Skell Angel on crack. That's what I see. If Skell Angel gets play, shouldn't this card?
If you guys remember, I don't know for all you MTG players out there, Magic the Gathering, Ponder, Preordained, these cards like this are so valuable in Magic the Gathering, and I honestly believe that it could be also valuable in Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, honestly, you get to pick which card you want in your hand.
It's like a super draw.
I love it.
If you're running Jar of Greed, if you're ever running a Skell Angel in your deck, I mean, this is the new Skell. There is zero reason not to run this over Skell Angel. Dr. Cranium. This is that actually, it's funny. Like, this card's so random, but it's one of the most prevalent ones I've seen yet. Like, this one I see play like today. Dr. Cranium. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can pay 800 life points and add 1 Psychic-type monster from your deck to your hand. Whoa, wait a second. That's pretty crazy. That is an unconditional search. Aside from the fact that you pay 800 life points.
I think it's a great card. I think it's worth putting that to the side. I'm sorry. I moved on ahead. Can I get the next one, please?
You got it.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Joel's of Dark Demise. Water monster, fiend, flip effect, flip. Take control of one monster on your opponent's side of the field until the end of the turn that this card's effect is activated. When the controller, when the controlled monster attacks, it can attack your opponent's life points directly. So number one, if you have it face down on the field and opponent attacks with 2 monsters, you just stop the second attack.
Instantly.
Number 2, you can easily take their monster attack directly. Number 3, you can take their monster and then tribute it. This is phenomenal. Take their monster, tribute for enemy controller. This card is easily going in any deck right now. If you pull this card, I don't care what you're running, Harpies, Weevil, I don't care. Put it in.
Put it in. Try it. Test it. Play test it, dude. I actually
don't even test it.
This card showed up in the it shows up in the loner decks, the special decks. But I didn't ever read the second half of it because it always activated on his turn or my turn because I was attacking into it. But there's also many ways. Feint plan, dude. Feint this card. A feint plan. Steal an opponent's Blue Eyes ultimate and direct attack him in the face with it. That's the dream. That is the dream. Okay, we have Baby Cerosaurus. Baby Cerosaurus. It's a dinosaur. This card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard. Special summon a level 4 or lower dinosaur-type monster from your deck. What? That's sick. And you get to choose the level 4 or lower dinosaur type. I could see this has some
card
play.
effects are pretty tough, but I mean either way, I think it's a phenomenal card. I think they're slightly trying to resurrect Rex,
yeah,
and it hasn't been done yet, but it's a good first step.
Yeah, we're not through the box yet, so here we go. I do feel bad for Rex. I would like to see him make his way back into the meta, but and I mean this is a great start. That's a huge dinosaur searcher. Kind of fill a gap or two for him. And tempo. Talk about tempo. Your opponent's attacking into that card, and then you're getting a beater thrown on the field. Card breaker.
Card effect. Card effect.
Wait. Oh, that actually just backed me up a lot. That backed me up a lot. I missed that part. Anyhow, card breaker.
But you know what? When I'm running Venus, oftentimes I will pull out a Shine Ball and OTC a face down card to open up. If I OTC a Baby Cesaurus, I might just tilt and quit. So
fair enough. Okay, so Card Breaker is a 2-star light warrior effect card. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card can only be special summoned in face-up attack position by sending 1 card from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard. Sending 1. Does this card to me, it just seems stuck in my face so hard here. I feel it. Does this card synergize with anything else in the box?
We'll put it this way: we've seen a lot of tribute monsters recently, not only in this pack but also in the previous pack. Mm-hmm. I just think
tribute monster, yeah,
tribute.
A special summon out front for a tribute. I guess there's some value. Okay, we got Ducker Mobile Cannon. Oh, I can't. Ducker Mobile Cannon. The new they're releasing a duck a pack right now. They're handing ducks out left, right, and center.
It's like a Star Wars character that just didn't make it.
They give no ducks, right? Flip, target 1 level 4 monster in your graveyard, add that to your hand. I don't know, maybe. I mean, it's a machine. I just love seeing more machines. We were so do you remember the original Machine Quest when you needed and the only machine we had in the game was basically a Guardian of the Throne Room? We've come a long way since then.
I'm telling you, Rare Metamorph is nothing. I know it's out of the pack, I'm sorry, but Rare Metamorph is so good that machines need to come to life now.
Yeah, no, like that's it. And Rare Metamorph protects you from OTC. Wait, does it? No, it doesn't protect you from OTC, but it protects you from a lot of crazy stuff. Once per turn, you can reveal 1 wind monster in your hand until the end of the opponent's next main phase. Monsters with a level higher than the revealed monster cannot activate their effects. Yes. It's a psychic card. I'm sure it's going to have some psychic synergy coming out of this crazy box, but I'm just going to go ahead and say yes here. If you have some low-level wind monsters Are fairies? No, fairies are light. Most of the fairies are light. I feel like this card could get some play. Little gimmicky, but moving on. We got Lakunga. I want to say Lakunga. Probably not right, but 4-star plant. Plants. I want to see more plants in the game too. I'm liking it. You can banish 2 water monsters from your graveyard. Special summon 1 Lakunga token. 700 attack, 700 defense, and attack position. I mean, obviously, tribute, fodder. It's basically like a. I mean, if you're summoning shine balls from your deck, you definitely have appreciation. Is that token OTCable?
The token is OTCable. It's an effect that can be used more than once. We're talking literally. I mean, I love Venus, as everybody knows. There is a card. That I don't know if we passed it already, where you can actually take water monsters out of your deck and put into the graveyard. This card banishes 2 water monsters, makes a token. It's OTCable. It's card advantage. I love gimmicky cards like Venus, and this reminds me of a maybe not as good Venus, but just fantastic. And I love Mako as well, so I'm biased. All around.
Like I really. Part of me really wants this deck to breathe life back into Mako and Rex. If I'm laddering in Plat 3 trying to hit King of Games next season and I see a Rex and a Mako running some new cards, it'll make my day. It'll actually be the best thing. Okay, we got Telekinetic Shocker. If a Psychic type monster on the field would be destroyed, you can pay 500 life points and destroy this card instead. Ooh, interesting.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Why not?
I mean, it's a 1700 4-star. It's playable a la carte. Right out of the hop. And I mean, I am sure there are some crazy. We haven't hit the super rares. I'm getting pumped. We are so close, I bet, to super rares and ultras. I bet you there's some crazy psychic cards that this thing could protect. And I mean, it's based
Just look at the next card.
Oh no, I skipped one. Genetic Woman. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points and select one of your remove from play psychic type monsters. Add it to your hand. Not bad, because I know there's lots of remove from play synergy. Both coming in as 1700 4-star beaters. Right away, we have a viable psychic deck core of just 4-star 1700 playable beaters. I mean, they're getting outperformed by most cards in the meta, but not terribly. People still play Barrel Dragon Jr., I always call him. I can never remember the guy's name. But we got Minefield... Twin Barrel Dragon, yeah. Minefield Driller. More machines, loving it. We got a 1500 4-star. When this face-up card you control leaves the field and is still in your possession. Leaves the field and is still in your possession. That mean you controlled it when it left the field? When it died?
I'm assuming return to hand?
Return to hand would be the only way this makes sense then, right? Still in your possession. Does the graveyard count as in your possession? Probably not. Target one field spell in your graveyard and add it to your hand. This is one I'm definitely putting over on the side. I see potential play. I know we're getting some crazy field spells, but I'd have to just get this effect under wraps. I think it's got to be back to your hand. I don't think you're considered controlling a card in your graveyard.
I also wanted to point out, I'm sorry, and not to take up too much time on the psychic monsters, but the one Shocker was an Earth monster, and the next Genetic Woman was a Wind monster.
Yep.
Which tells me Desert Twister, and then also another Shocker's effect could also bring another Shocker or Woman back to the hand. So very interesting on those cards. Sorry,
no, dude, no, man. This is what I'm here. This is what we're here for. Desert Twister. I like it. Once per turn, and then you could rotate it through. Okay, we got Skelosaurus, Zombie Gemini effects. We got more Gemini cards. This 1700 4-star. Here's a normal monster, yada yada. This card becomes Earth Dinosaur type. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon that monster to your field in defense position. If you do, it becomes a zombie. Whoa.
I love it.
Whoa.
I love it.
This is a 2k beater with Rex's effect down too, don't forget. If you can manage to get the summon out, and that effect, after your first kill, immediately starts getting crazy. I mean, you're killing. It does say face up defense position, right? So you can't, and there's a reason for that. So you can't just chain in another attack during your battle phase, because it'll drop as defense. So you can't use it right away. I like it. I think it's going to see some play for sure. In any current decks, not really. Its only real potential is in an emerging Gemini deck that's going to start coming, because I feel it. Aqua, water, so far so good. We got 4-star, 800 attack, 1000 defense. Esker, I think it's Esker or Escher, the Frost Vassal. If your opponent controls 2 or more cards in their spell and trap zones, you can special summon this card from your hand. Interesting. I mean, people more often than not have 2 cards in their spell or trap card zone. And it's a water monster. I'm seeing Rex. I'm seeing Mako synergy right off the bat for popping out, getting his tributes out.
I definitely see Mako synergy. I definitely see, and even any deck that's trying to do tributes. I mean, I see a lot of people trying to mess with BS Core. People trying to mess with Tyrant Dragon ever since they've seen Soul Exchange. So anything that could be tribute fodder is really going to help towards that tribute deck. And you know what? I'm going to move on to the next one on that note because we're talking about tributes. And we got this card
I
plays
remember this
a special
card.
place in my heart.
I
Yes.
remember this card from forever. Yes! Yes! YuGiOh set. This card I remember. I ran this card in my the video pack game, or Game Boy games I used to play. This card pops right off, man. Oh. And we were just talking about tribute setups. You could set this guy up to be so huge.
The attack of this card becomes equal to the combined original attack of the 2 monsters you tributed for the tribute summon of this card. Very simple, can become very big, obviously.
Original,
and
obviously.
I would say maybe a farming deck might be able to get some use out of it, possibly. But also, like, just I could just see myself playing 2 Apotheosis, Apothesis, however you say it, and just tribute them real quick.
You
I have
say
a
farming, my
3200
ears
monster.
perk up. I see tributing this guy over top of 2 blue eyes ultimates. Drop it as a 9K. Anyhow.
Yeah, but no union attack though, right?
Yeah, that's it. Puppet King. When your opponent adds a monster card to their hand, except by drawing, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, destroy it during your next turn's end phase. I mean, I guess there's a lot of people searching for monsters, though. A lot of people are searching for monsters. And you could do this in the battle phase. You gotta be able to do this in the battle phase. If you attack into a Gakapon, a Sangan, I know it's not in the game yet, but NPCs have run it. You could special summon this in the middle of a battle phase. You'd have to be able to, right?
I believe so, and I mean, even though I'm not going to build a deck around it, I did think maybe sideboarding against Gravekeepers. Yeah, why not?
Sideboarding against Gravekeepers, it does tons of searching, and yeah, and I mean, if it would have to be playtested, I'm almost certain it's got to be able to drop in a battle phase. But if it drops in a battle phase, you would get it again for your entire next turn. It's your next turn's end phase, so it would actually be huge if you could pop this in a battle phase. You get 2 full turns of value out of this card then. Moving on though, Cyber Dinosaur. It is a machine. It's a 7-star machine effect, 2500, 1900. It is a 2 tribute monster though, so it's not really outclassing anybody in sheer attack and defense. When your opponent special summons a monster from their hand, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Interesting. Like, we're getting all these quick special summons. This is like very similar to the last card in that sense, but we'd have to find ways to fit them into the meta for sure. Dragonic Knight. Still going to be a 2 tribute card. When the effect of an opponent's monster is activated that targets and destroys a card you control, you can send the targeted cards to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. What? Immediately I see. Wait, no, Ladybug doesn't target, does it? No. But Yomi Ship targets.
To my knowledge, OTC targets as well, correct?
Wait, when your opponent's monster is activated, it has effect of a monster though. So Yomi Ship, this is like a screw you Yomi Ship card. Effect targets. I can't think of any huge any surmountable number of effect cards off the top of my head though. Bug? Yeah, like Vanity Bug. Don't tell me it's coming. I'll lose my mind. Zeta Reticulant. It's a fairy. Love fairies. We just ran actually, I'm working on compiling our fairy run from the stream the other day. It's a 7-star fairy, 2400 attack, 2100 defense. You contribute 1 Eva token to special summon this card from your hand. While this card is in your graveyard, each time a monster your opponent controls is removed from play, special summon 1 Eva token. Wait a sec. Contribute 1 Eva token to special summon this card from your hand. While this card is in your graveyard, each time a monster your opponent controls is removed from play, special summon another Eva token. Weird. Now, Did we not see a trap card that automatically throws a copy of a card you currently have in the graveyard as well? But that had to have already been played. This is weird, but I like it. I feel like it could be abused. It's sitting there. It's something I want to put up on a shelf and look at later when I'm staring at fairies. Gemini Booster.
Definitely something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. Gemini Booster. This one I saw in the special duels. Equip this card to a Gemini monster you control as an equip card. It gains 700 attack. So immediately, boom. This is a rare metal morph right off the bat. This is a rare metal morph.
If this is the first SR we're seeing, oh my gosh.
Wait, this is an SR. This is an SR. This is actually nuts.
Yes.
This is, we're here. This is it. We're here. I'm pumped. The more I look at this card, the more I go, holy crap, all right? Not only, when this card is destroyed while equipped inside the graveyard, you get to special summon one of your Geminis on the field. That's nuts. And you could even pop it yourself to do that. This card is insane. Geminis are a thing, and I am terrified of them. That is a rare metal morph for Geminis, and this box is pumping them up. Monster Reborn, psych, what? Monster Reincarnation. Discard one card and target one monster in your graveyard. Add it to your hand. Yeah. Immediately I go right to my immediately I think of my mill decks. Not knowing if I can really make anything work with it, but as well as cards things that pop effects while they're being discarded. I know they exist in the game, but
I will say one thing. As you're going to start to see, this pack is going to be giving life to fusion monsters. And as you're going to see with this next card, and I feel like, obviously Monster Reincarnation was big with the Generation 2 Jaden's Elemental Heroes and other fusion decks. We're going to start noticing very, very good cards. And that one card I told you to put to the side, we're going to start seeing that come into play along with Monster Reincarnation, along with some other cards. Let's move on to that next one because I'm excited.
All right, Branch. It's a continuous spell card. When a fusion monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard. A fusion monster. Yes, let's give fusion life. I thought you said ritual and I was going to cry. We don't need Relinquish to have any more life in this current meta. On the field is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. You can target one of the fusion materials in your graveyard that was used for its fusion summon. Oh! What? That's sick.
That's not just it. There's gonna be a lot more. There's gonna be a little bit more. But man, can I take over this next card though? Let me know when you're done.
Double summon. Let's go.
Double summon. You can conduct 2 normal summons / sets this turn.
Not just one. It actually said this. I love how this card's like memeing in your face too. You can. It doesn't just say you can conduct an extra normal summoner set this turn. You can conduct 2 normal summoner sets. Not just one. I love it. It's actually like, whoo, that is power.
A deck that would not benefit from this.
I can't even think. I mean, aside from being stuck not having beaters, but like, this is tempo. Just like, not to mention normal summoner set, dude. This is an instant tribute. It's an instant tribute. You can normal summon a beater and tribute instantly. Double summon. Get it. Sorceress Spell Wall. Sorceress Spell Wall. All monsters you control gain 300 attack during your turn and 300 defense during your opponents. We've seen this card before. Or actually, you know what? We haven't seen this card, but Pegasus ran a card like this, didn't he?
I believe so, and it's a field spell.
Pegasus might have been a continuous spell, but I do remember a card just like this in the Pegasus event, where he did like a 2-way buff thing. It was his field spell. Maybe it was this one, I don't remember. I didn't think it was because the name doesn't ring a bell. Anyhow, speaks for itself. That's pretty powerful. That is pretty powerful. I could see people trying to go out of their way to use it. Fusion Substitute. This card's name is always treated as polymerization. Yo, this already has me excited. Yo, I skipped it. Get back. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters you control as fusion materials. Does that mean it has to be the right one? You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 fusion monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, then draw a card. What? Is it simply a polymerization on crack? Is it just an improved version of polymerization?
It seems like a polymerization with with foddering abilities, if I'm using that term correctly.
Yep.
I don't even know. This card needs its own terminology. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Like, I mean, if you're ever considering running a polymerization, this is quite simply a better version of it. I don't see any backfire. Fusion summon 1 from your extra deck using monsters you control. Maybe it has to be on the field. Is that a kickback
That's the
here?
one. That might be the one kickback.
You control. Okay, so you might have to have them summoned, so you can't fusion from your hand. That could be it. We'll have to play test this, and we'll get back to you on it. Gateway to Chaos. When this card is activated, dude, we're still in supers. I'm starting to just get like super pumped. This is a 200. This is a big box, obviously, right? Of course it is. It's taking us forever to get through it. When this card is activated, activate one black or add 1 Black Luster Soldier Ritual Monster or 1 Guy the Fierce Knight monster from your deck to your hand. What? Each time a monster card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, place a spell counter on this card for each of those cards, max 6. Any card to the graveyard. This is activating spell cards too. Once per turn, you can remove 3 spell counters from this card, add a ritual spell card from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Gateway to Chaos per turn. That is pretty crazy.
I think we need to see more ritual decks. I mean, not just Relinquish, but I mean an actual ritual deck. And
This is immediately just super pumping Black Luster Soldier out too, right? Like black, you could draw this card and get Black Luster Soldier out in the same turn just because you drew this card. If you had enough stuff in your hand to play, you literally draw this card, and if you have 3 spell cards in your hand to activate and then go to the graveyard, boom, Black Luster Soldier is on the field instantly just because of this card. That is pretty crazy.
Love it.
Super Alloy Beast Raptinus. Dragon Fusion Effect. One Gemini monster plus 1 Gemini monster. What? Oh! I do apologize for the horn. That is my Twitch follower alert popping off. So we do have someone coming in and smashing that follow button. Always appreciate it. Super Alloy Beast Raptinus. This is nuts. Any Gemini monster? Are you kidding me? And then it instantly pops the effect of all Gemini monsters. I'm saying this makes it in this new Gemini deck. At least has to be tried. Geminis are a thing now. I'm so pumped. A brand new deck archetype. That's exactly what we needed this box to bring us to. Des Kangaroo. And we haven't even hit ultra rares, and I'm already calling Geminis. Des Kangaroo, a 4-star 1500, 1700. If the attack of a monster that attacks this monster is lower than the defense of this card, destroy the attacking monster. Damage calculation is applied normally. So face down. If this card's face down and they just attack into it, boom, they're destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool. You can also place it face up and obviously stop any attack that's lower than 1700, which is also kind of cool. But, maybe combine that with an obnoxious Celtic Guardian and it can't be destroyed. But then, I don't know, lots of cool stuff.
I could see, buffing it, right?
I'm just excited for what's coming forward. Oh my gosh.
Yo, I can't believe, I actually love this method of looking through a box. And it really lets you, because one thing I've struggled in the past with new boxes is just opening cards and not really ever only really looking at the ultra rares and the super rares because all you had time for. But this is such a great way to get down and really go through the whole box and talk it through and know. By the time we're done here, I'm going to know every single card I might want to add to a deck today, instead of having to wait 2 weeks for the meta to change and see other people do it first. Now we have Screech here. It's a 4-star 1500 attack, 400 defense card. This card is destroyed by battle. Send 2 water monsters from your deck to the graveyard. Weren't we just talking?
I spoiled this card earlier. I apologize.
You did spoil this card a little earlier. You said this had synergy with some other card from earlier, right?
It was another water monster that you can remove 2. You can remove 2 water monsters from your graveyard to special summon a 700 token on the field. You can do it more than once.
Yeah, that octopus-esque looking thing. Okay, so I'm loving it. Anything they throw goes away, and it's a reptile. Yo,
but does that get powered by Yumi? I don't think so.
Umi doesn't have a water clarification? Oh, it's not. It doesn't get powered by Umi. You're right. Now, I want to see Molting Escape become a thing. I want to see more reptiles. So I'm happy to see reptiles in the game as well. Destructotron. During the end phase, if this card is the only psychic type monster you control, destroy it. You can pay 1,000 life points, then target 1 set spell or trap card your opponent controls. Destroy that target. Okay. Expensive, but does his effect does his effect proc like
I just want you to keep in mind how you said that was expensive, and also keep in mind that the other effects of Psychic involve paying life points, and just
keep
remember that in mind.
all right.
Keep going.
Keeping that in mind. But I do have to ask, do you think this spoiler alert. Great. Do you think this guy's effect activates like what's the machine that does the same thing but lockdown? Obviously, it's going to be a targeting thing, giving the opponent the opportunity to activate it. Of course, yes, because any trap can be activated, procced off an effect. So even if you do go to pay this 1,000, the opponent can still activate the trap out from underneath them, right?
Yeah, you're right, but the same thing is what Harpies and Electro try to do.
Yeah,
Electro, that activation.
Forced activation is great, though. You're right. So we got Darkstorm Dragon. It is a 8-star, 2,700 attack, 2,500 defense, Dragon Gemini. Let's go! This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field. Your normal Gemini effects. Once per turn, you can send one face-up spell or trap card you control to the graveyard. Destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. Whoa.
That card's terrible. That's awful. Not playable whatsoever. That's phenomenal. Oh my gosh.
Dude,
so much.
Dude, it's literally, I mean, it has to get effect done, but this is Mako's, like, freaking Daedalus, dude. That's basically a Daedalus effect for all it's worth. I mean, it doesn't clear the monsters, but who cares? It's a 2,700 on the field.
Also, remember the synergy that the fusion monsters had. Remember that fusion Gemini. Every monster that hits the field ends up coming with an effect. And then there was also fusion cards that let you bring fusion materials back to your hands. So if you use it as a very, very chinky stuff you can do with it. I got that next card.
7 tools. We're ultra rares, baby. Yo, this one brings me so far back, man. 7 tools of the bandit. When a trap card is activated, pay 1,000 life points, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Now, wait a second. Is this just... So, what makes this different than Trap Jammer? Because it can be used in any phase, right?
I will say that, I mean, it's... Obviously, this card was really, really heavily played in the real-life meta because we started off with 8,000 life. It's tough with only 4,000 life. It is a counter trap, and I'm pretty sure that's going to come in handy going forward. So let's keep going.
Counter trap synergy is Trap Jammer a counter trap?
The Trap Jammer is a counter trap, but it also a Trap Jammer can't be used. I'm sorry, Trap Jammer can only be used in the battle phase.
And that's where it differentiates. Yeah, so that is the only difference though between this and Trap Jammer. Is this is not locked to battle phase, right?
It's my heart where Trap Jammer does it.
Sorry?
I said it also has a place in my heart where Trap Jammer does it.
Magic Drain. When your opponent activates a spell card, they can discard one spell card to negate this card's effect. Otherwise, negate the activation of their spell card, and if you do, destroy it. What? This is like some bass-ackwards Magic Jammer, dude.
I believe it's actually better than, for example, again, I play a lot of Venus. I'm going to use my Venus deck, for example. If I play my Venus and I Shine Ball and I play OTC on your monster, you can easily hit me with Magic Jam. It's going to do one of two things. It's either going to force me to discard my other OTC in my hand or enemy controller, which is not good. Or anything
in your hand, yeah.
Or it's going to negate my OTC.
Which is also not good. Like, I like it. I like it. It forces your opponent into a hard spot. Like what if... Yeah, there's so many things. And right off the bat, too, Relinquished. I want to see this used on a Relinquished. Can you imagine a Relinquished placing his spell card to summon Relinquished, having a Karibo in the graveyard, and that's what he's sacrificing, and he goes to summon his Relinquished, and he just goes, "Duh!" Well, shit. Yeah, either discards the Relinquished.
Automatic rage quit.
Yeah, discards the Relinquished, and he just rage quits. That would happen, too. So we got Magic Drain. We're in the Ultra Rares. Eliminating the League. Discard one spell card. Destroy one face-up monster your opponent controls. Check your opponent's hand, and all cards in their hand with the same name as the destroyed card are sent to the graveyard. So right off the bat, this is basically an OTC that fodders out of your own hand instead of the field. I think it's great. Not to mention the hand mill. I mean, that's just a bonus.
I also love the ability of looking at my opponent's hand. I'm a big believer.
That's so true. You also get a sneak peek at what's in the hand, and you just take your time, and this is beautiful. This is, man. This
Believer knowledge is power. So when Pegasus is mind scan, Exactly. Pegasus is mind scan again. Knowledge is power. This card lets you look at your opponent's hand again. Knowledge is power. When you
That's
can,
it.
it's all about planning your next step. And
Planning,
when you can see
predicting,
their
getting
hand,
ahead of your opponent, and that's it. You see their hand. Oh, he has a Karibo. I'm not gonna attack. Like, this is great. I love it. Fusion Sage. Add 1 polymerization card from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Interesting. So this is just gonna help you search for polys. Yeah, straight up. I mean, it'll fit.
in my opinion, I apologize. Yeah,
Yeah.
great card. Yeah, fantastic. In my opinion, the next card you're about to read is the number 1 card
In the whole box?
in the set.
Okay. Symbols of Duty. Hey, they're dog tags. Send 1 normal monster you control to the graveyard. Then target 1 monster in either player's graveyard. Special summon it. And if you do, equip this card to it. When the card leaves the field, destroy the equipped monster. Oh, hot damn. Okay. Okay, and how many times? And holy crap. So how many times through this box too have we found monsters that are like super special summonable? We even have double normal summon. Yeah, this card has some crazy synergy. It's actually my mind hurts trying to think about implementing it. It's actually so crazy.
It's instant Venus, instant Harpies. If you're running Geminis, throw it in. If you were running a normal monster, I'm sorry, I apologize. If you were running any deck that at least half of your monster are normal monsters, and you have this card and it's not in your deck, quit. Just quit the game because you don't know value.
You don't like it. Yo, so my vanilla Harpy deck, I could put this in today, I think. It'll be tons of playtesting to fit it in, but damn, like the fact that you OTC so often too, there's always beefy monsters in the graveyards. I like it. This is crazy. Not to mention, I mean, it's any monster. You could special summon monsters who you just want to reproc the effect of. Okay, we're moving on.
I'm thinking so many times where I played against great decks in that tournament. I played against Gravekeepers. If I happen to order to charge your Oracle, well, guess what? I'm taking it back. If I happen to play against a clown deck and I destroy your Dream Clown, guess what? I know how to play clowns. I'm taking your Dream.
Man, that's sick.
There was
Symbols of Duty.
I love the card.
So far, we haven't seen any new next level beaters yet. I'm kind of still dreaming, but we'll see. Brain Research Lab. Once per turn, you can normal summon 1 psychic type monster in addition to your normal summoner set. If successful, place 1 psychic counter on this card. Whoa. Wait, what? Once per turn, you can do an extra normal summon. Place a psychic counter on this card. Okay. You can also place 1 psychic counter on this card instead of paying life points to activate any psychic type monster's effect. There you go. That was what you're hinting about for sure. When this card is removed from the field, though, the controller of this card takes 1,000 damage for each psychic counter on it. That is terrifying. But this card is like, whoo! This is a Hail Mary if I've ever seen one. Holy crap.
One of my favorite things about the animes is there was often a lot of cards being played that would have a huge sacrifice to the person who used it, but ultimately to try to win the game. When you think of Power Bond, Limited Removal, and all the cards like that, this card reminds you that it's like putting your eggs in one basket. But if your opponent, instead of attacking you, manage, oh well, I'm gonna play this card and this card and this card, and I'm gonna destroy that field spell, and that costs you the game. And it's like, oh no, absolutely love it. So.
I mean, I would be terrified to play this card. I would be terrified. I don't know. But the power plays you can pull off with it is crazy. Brisket for the biscuit is right, man. Holy smokes! A fusion ultra. What? Oh, that cute. The 2 cute cards I was talking about earlier too. Master of Oz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 star, 4,200 attack, 3,700 defense, fusion monster. Wait a second. Instantly, I'm thinking farm decks. Big Koala was a tribute summon, right?
Yes, sir.
Big Koala is a tribute summon. Let me do some quick math here. I'm pulling up the calculator. Actually, I gotta go find Big Koala now. I'm gonna back out. Oh, we're still at the bottom. That's perfect. Where's Big Koala? I'm all about the farm game. Big Koala right here, 2,700. So if I tribute summon in a Big Koala, that's 2,700. Divide that by 2.
Was it 27 or 26? I'm sorry. Was it?
I'm staring at it right now. It's 27. That's 1,350. Half of 4,200 is 2,100. So right away, a double Roku combo rolling through these two is 3450. If I'm Rokuing my Piranhas, I'm at 4250 now without having to carry a third Blue Eyes the entire way though, because that tilts me sometimes. It actually comes 50 damage short of a combo I want to pull off, but not if I'm rotating. Not if I'm rotating Umi through on a Piranha. But we'll see. I see potential. That is a fat card. How do I get back here without wrecking things? I think we're going backwards, so we'll go in there. Okay. Symbols of Duty, Brain Research, Master of Oz. It's just simply the second biggest monster we've seen in the game so far. Cool for that reason alone. Gale Lizard, 4 stars, ultra rare, reptile flip effect, 1400 attack, 1700 defense. Target one monster your opponent controls, return it to their hand. It's just what, a little fatter version of a Hain?
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first saw this, I started flipping out. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it'll be great! I can see it being used in." And then I just
stopped there. Because I mean, Hain
if this
gets
was Penguin Soldier, that'd be a whole lot different.
Hain gets 0 play already. If Hain gets no play, then I don't know if Gale Lizard will. Phoenix Gearfried. It is a double. It's a 2 tribute Gemini. Let's go. This card's treated blah blah blah. Gemini. If your opponent activates a spell card, you can target one Gemini monster in your graveyard and special summon it. During either player's turn, when a spell or trap card is activated that targets a monster on the field, you can send one face-up equip card you control to the graveyard and negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. Dude, that's too much going on there for me. that is just too much. What? If your opponent activates a spell card, you can special summon a Gemini from your graveyard. What the actual thing? That alone is just retarded.
It's extremely good. I mean, obviously hard to get off. You have to have Gemini cards in your graveyard. Obviously,
and get a special summon. You have to normal summon it again, right?
But man, if your opponent plays a spell, no matter what it is, it could be
anything.
Greed.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. You get a damn Gemini. It's
get another Gemini onto your field. That's nuts. Not to mention the new Gemini fusion too. That gets me excited. So far there's only been 1 or 2 cards out of these ultra rares so far that'll fit into any current decks, but still, this card here, Gemini, it's the new Gemini decks that are going to be crazy. And then of course we have Black Luster Soldier, your classic 3K ritual, and that is going to polish the deck off. All right, so. Give me your top 5 cards from the box. Top 3 maybe if you can't think of 5. Top 5 cards.
I'm gonna go top 5.
Okay, you know what? A little different. Give me your top 2 cards that will affect the current meta decks.
Okay. Top 2 cards you said, correct?
Yeah, let's do top 2 cards that you think could be added into a deck that exists right now and could affect the current meta. I'm gonna
have to, and I'm gonna talk about main board, not even sideboard. There's a lot of good stuff in here. I'm gonna go right off the bat. We're talking Symbols of Duty. A lot of decks are trying to fit OTC in, so they're running normal monsters. Symbols of Duty is it's too good to ignore. I mean, that's pretty clear.
Symbols of Duty.
See, this is where it gets a little bit tough for me. I'm gonna have to go my second option though. It's gonna have to be double summon. I mean, there's no way you can sit here and look at that card and say it's not playable.
Yeah, no, that's it. Oh my gosh. So you have double summon, setting you up for things like getting out. Now you have double summon in this game now, setting you up to get this Phoenix Gearfried out. Like there's just so many ways stuff like this can happen now. I feel like the game just sped up a lot.
But if I could just give a special shout out to Joel's, if I'm saying that right, of Dark Demise. I mean, if you gave me 2 cards, if I could have had a third card, it would have been up there. It's so hard for me not to put that in the top 3.
Find me that card again. Where was it?
It's only a rare. It's right between the Babysaurus and the
Joel's of Dark Demise, of course. Take control of one monster your opponent's side of the field until the end of the turn. Its card's effects act. That's just nuts. That is so nuts. I need to see a clip of somebody using this card on a Blue Eyes Ultimate and just direct attacking for a 1-hit KO. Ooh.
Excited about this boss, but honestly, my my thoughts on this is when ultimately, if you get rid of Ultimate Rising and you get rid of Age of Discovery, I wanted to see a deck that put a lot of staples in. And don't
Yeah, I
okay, I
did.
think
This did not at all. Well, I don't. This definitely didn't replace anything really from Ultimate Rising or any of the boxes we lost. This is just brand new. This is brand new. This is like a big, for me, this is almost a big version of the Flame of Tyrant box, or even the Age of Discovery. Like you have this box packed full of Gemini, with a 1 or 2 sidecards we can fit into other decks, right?
And I'm gonna have to agree. I think ultimately, if they do end up coming out with another box that ends up replacing Ultimate Rising, where it has those huge staples in it, I'm gonna say go after that box. But
Yeah,
then
I
immediately afterwards, head over to this one. Immediately.
Yeah, no. For me, especially if you're a brand new player right now, should they be dropping their gems on this box right now? If they're brand new, just load into the game today. My first thing is no. My first. This doesn't have any staple beaters. It doesn't have a lot. It's kind of its own thing. It kind of really needs a lot of cards that are already in the game mixed in with a lot of this, I think, to pull them off. Like, you're getting no trap support. You're getting no solid trap or spell, universal trap or spell support out of this box. I think this is like a Age of Discovery. This box reminds me a lot of Age of Discovery. I see a extremely powerful deck coming out of this box, but I see one deck. Machines didn't get enough to really pop off, right? We got some machine support, but not a whole lot. So basically, you got Psychic and you got Gemini coming out of this box, and I think you're going to see some new decks be born. It's not going to have a whole lot, aside from Double Summon. I mean, Double Summon's huge. Double Summon is gigantic, and Symbols of Duty, besides those 2 cards, this box is not going to affect our current meta decks a whole lot. It's going to introduce a new deck to the meta. I can't wait to get some Gemini action happening. But yeah, all in all, solid new box. For me personally, as a veteran, I want to say of about 3 months now, this is awesome. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see something new. I wanted to see a new deck introduced to the game, but it's certainly not newer player friendly. A newer player friendly box. Unfortunately, I see a lot of newer players getting baited into blowing a lot of gems on this box because of it being new, being shoved in your face and whatnot, and kind of handicapping themselves almost in a way, not getting a hold of a lot of stuff they need. But yeah, basically that's going to end our critical analysis of the new box that's dropped, Chaotic Compliance, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you stuck around for this whole time, you are a trooper. I hope you are smarter than you were before. At least I hope our words of critique, knowledge, and wisdom were worth listening to. I definitely, this is my favorite way to dive into a new box. Just grind it out. I analyze every card. This needed to be done whether I recorded it or not. So I hope you guys enjoyed as well. I feel like I'm ready for this box now. I'm not going to get caught off guard by something. I remember from the Valkyrie box, there was a lot of cards that I had played against me and I hadn't even really read them yet. So I really liked the discipline of sitting down, really just going through every card, and I'm really glad my buddy Why Not here is able to join as well. Thanks a lot, man. And yeah, that basically sum it up for the analysis video, guys. Smash that subscribe button. Hit me up on Facebook or Twitter. That's how you're gonna know when the stream's going live, when new content's coming out. And of course, the live stream is twitch.tv/MasKScarin. Come check it out. We try to go live at about 10:30 Eastern every weekday, some Saturdays. And if that schedule's ever changing, like I said, it's going to be up on the socials. But first and foremost, guys, stay classy.